Sorry about this. A little bit late today. We had some stuff going around here at the studio. Oh, why is that done? I was playing with my collar. I was looking at myself on the camera earlier, and I was playing with my collar, and I made it all tight like a South Central gangbanger from a 1980s movie. Right? Isn't that how that's how they all wore that. All right, welcome to the show. I am Pugs Moran. We do this every Monday through Friday at high noon. I know a little bit late today. We had some stuff going on here at the house. All right, welcome to the show. I am Pugs Moran. What's going on? Is that how long the delay is? I have the show open in another window. Wow. Okay, I guess I had never realized how incredibly long the delay is. Let's see. Let's say hi to the chat room. We got Byron, we got Rainey, we got Jeff, we got Taranda. Well, first of all, they're your starting five. That's it. That's what I'm gonna start calling it. I'm gonna start calling it a starting five. Here's what we do on this show if you're a first timer. I wake up very early, crack it done. Crack it done. Having a stroke again. Guys, I hope somebody is out there compiling all of these moments where I pronounce words incorrectly. I'm having mini strokes. I wake at the crack of I almost said done again. I wake at the crack of dawn. At the cock's crow, if you will, and I start compiling all the day's news, all the headlines. I watch the morning shows. I go through the papers. I look at all the trends. I make a list, and that list is presented to you every day. But first, before we get into all of those things, the things that are happening today, the things that are defining this day as we experience it in real time, I also like to do birthdays and erstwhile on. That's the first thing we do. Look at it like this. Look at the show like 4 quarters, okay? The first 3 quarters are erstwhile on this day. We take a look back at all the things that have shaped our perception and understanding of what this day has meant. We go back this day in history, if you will. If you want to be lame, I call it erstwhile on this day. Then we move into birthdays. We talk about the people who were born on this day. Go over their accomplishments. Really, we just decide we like this guy. That's kind of how it is. Then we go into mornings. The people who died, the deads, as I call them, people who died on this day, and we take a look at their life's resume, and then based upon our own understanding of what the prerequisites are for heaven and hell, we go, where'd they go? They go into heaven or hell. Okay, so that's quarter 1, 2, and 3. Then quarter 4, all the day's news, everything that's happening in the world. That's how the show runs. It takes about 2 hours, and we do it every day. We hope you enjoy it. And if you do enjoy it, there's an opportunity for you to show it. You don't have to just say, hey, Pugs, we enjoy it. No, you can actually support the show. The show runs on your tips. That's right, your tips and your gratuities and all of those nice things. This is a brand of talk radio that just doesn't seem to have a home on terrestrial, so we have to do it here. And if you appreciate this kind of talk radio, please drop a little tip or something during the show. People who do drop tips during the show get the pleasure of being the executive producer. For the 3rd day in a row, we're going to give it to Tracy D. Tracy dropped a big tip, and nobody else has tipped all week, except for Pete. Pete's doing a bit, and I really appreciate it. Go Rangers! Pete's dropping the same amount of money. A nice tip, like a daily tip. Like if I was a bartender and he came and hung out for 2 hours, it's a tip that you would leave for that. It's commensurate. It's appropriate, and I appreciate it. But he's doing it as a bit because we're both we got Ranger fever, and so he's tipping the show every day that amount, as long as the Rangers are alive, which is awesome. So thank you to Tracy D. And if you're so inclined and want to support the show yourself, you can drop it in the Venmo. You can drop it in the Cash App. It's not required, but it is appreciated. Thank you so much. Okay. No Radio Misfits show tonight. Tonight, the 9 o'clock stream is not on again. I know. Wasn't on last night. I'll tell you why in a moment there. Tonight I got a kids football game. Oh, and this is going to be a nail biter. My kids game tonight is against Louisville. And they good. But the good news is we're good too. So this is going to be a real good game. So I'm very excited. Got to get out there. Going to have to fight traffic and get all the way up to Louisville because it's another road game. My kids' team seems to play every game on the road. They've had 3 home games. 3. Okay. And 5 road games. And then they're but next season it'll be lopsided in the other way. I'm like, okay, well, this season there's a lot of driving involved. So I got to do that tonight. Not got to do that, want to do that. The highlight of my week. My kid seems really good. Could do a whole podcast just on that. And me and his grandma would be the only people that listen to it because nobody cares. So we're moving on. Last night, why was there no Radio Misfits show last night? You're probably asking. Holy cow, we had fun. I had fun. I don't get out much. I'm not a going out guy anymore. I used to. I'd like to be again. I think I have it in my blood still. Although, I'm no longer a going out guy till 4 a.m. No, those days I still want to be going out guy, but I want to be going out guy that's on the way home by midnight. But that is maybe home by midnight. There you go. I want to be going out guy who's home by midnight, and I was able to pull that off last night. The Sunbrew. Remember Sunbrew, the bikini team, the promotions team? Sunbrew has been a big event promoter in this town for about 20 years. They used to do a lot of work with us over at 105.3. Brandon, who you may know from the chat room, he is the owner-proprietor of Sunbrew. They had a big reunion party last night at a reunion party because you have to understand, I don't know if you're familiar with a little thing that happened a couple of years back called COVID-19, but it kind of destroyed the bar game. And it certainly destroyed the bar promotions game and the bar. A lot of people took it on the chin. And Sunbrew kind of had to go away, and now they're back, and they're going to restart up that engine of fun and mayhem that they've been. What? You guys hear that? A low-flying Cessna or an unscheduled visit from a landscaper. All right, it's landscaper guy. All right. Dog? Where's the dog? Well, we would know if the dog was outside because that we would not be hearing. We'd be hearing the screams of a landscaper being eaten. So we're okay. I guess the dog's around here somewhere. What was I saying? So we did, yeah. So we went to the back nine, which is a place. It's funny because I think the last time I participated in some kind of a bar promotion in this town was about 15 years ago, and it was at the back nine. So I'm like, all right, why not? This seems right. Got to reconnect with a lot of great people, a lot of old friends. It was all like old Sunbrew people. And I don't mean old in years, although, yes, we are all aging. But I mean, like, just people like from years ago that I hadn't seen in forever. It was fun. Now, here's a problem that I have. I left about 11 o'clock, and as I was leaving, I bumped into a guy, Alan. Alan, I know you're listening. Alan's not a chat room guy, but he does listen. And he came out. He came out and he sat there at the bar and he had some drinks, and I didn't know that he was a listener to the podcast or anything like that until I was leaving. And then he comes up to me and he goes, "Hey, Pugs, I just wanted to say hi. I really enjoy the podcast." And I'm like, did you come out here because I said come on out here? And he's like, yeah. And I go, dude, we got to come up with a code word. So we need to come up with a code word so that when I'm out at one of these things, I can show you guys special attention so that we can hang out. Because I don't know. Because here's the problem. When I go out and I do these things, one of my jobs is to keep moving, keep talking to everybody. There's always advertisers that need to be spoken to. And like last night, in the past, it was like my own advertisers. But last night it was, the Sunbrew people, the people who support Sunbrew, different alcohol brands and people like that were out there. And so, I'm just, hanging out and being nice to everybody. But I felt so bad. I'm like, Alan, I go, this can't happen. So because of that, we need to just do a party for us. And I'm thinking maybe we do a Ranger watching party. We all go out and watch a Ranger game at some point in the next week or so. Like, here's what I was thinking might be fun. I have to check the schedule though. And I guess, do we know are there any day games? Like, I think a day game might be fun to do if we all got, well, but then again, you're working. I don't know. We'll work it out. Anyway, Alan, thank you so much. I appreciated meeting you last night, and I'm so sorry that here's my problem. I was talking about how, I'm constantly on the move and I'm saying hi to everybody and all that stuff. Uncle Bob Lavelle was out there last night. He was kind of stationary. So I was hanging out with him a little bit. Franny, oh my God, my old buddy Franny came out. Franny was there. I sat with him a little bit. So I had time to sit with people and like just talk. And here's what you got to understand about me. I'm incredibly shy. I really am. I know that doesn't seem like I am, but when I also suffer of my myriad of mental issues is I suffer from something called imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is a feeling that despite your well-documented accomplishments, despite earning it, you still feel like you somehow are a fraud and that you don't belong and that nobody actually likes you. That's impossible. So I have that. And so when I go out in public and I'm meeting everybody, I'm trying to flip a switch. Like I'm trying to be saying, I don't know who I am in that moment, because this is who I am. This is the real me. But when I'm out, it's like, hey, we're getting crazy. That's not really me, but it's kind of what I do, and I have to. I'm a fraud when I'm out there. So if I see you and we don't know each other, I have like a really hard time going, hey, my name's Pugs, man. How you doing? Good to see you, man. I mean, that's probably what I should do. And it would be easier to meet people, because I know you come out to support something like that, like in the case of Alan. He came out by himself. Alan's a cool dude. Alan's like 40-something years old, divorced, doesn't get out much. He's like, man, I'll go out and hang out with Pugs. And then I stiff him all night long. I didn't even know he was there. And it'll break my heart to find out that there are other people like that. So we have to come up with a code word. Maybe just chat room, or maybe just high noon. You just say, if you see me walking through a bar, with a microphone or something, and you're sitting there at the bar alone, I just go high noon. I promise I'll react. I'll go, you're one of the special people, because you guys are the special people. All those people that I was glad handing with last night, those are just people that support other things, and they're people I knew from years ago. But you're the engine that keeps this thing moving. You're the people who have kept me alive for the last 2 years. So you got to tell me. I got to be able to hug you. I got to be able to. So thank you, Alan. It was really great meeting you. And I'm so enjoying going out. Because of the imposter syndrome, whenever I walk into a place, I think, all right, I'm going to get cold-cocked. Everybody fucking hates me. There is absolutely nothing redeemable about me. That's what schizophrenic me. My partner, who isn't around today because I had a good night last night. He's not around. Schizophrenic me, that's him. He's like, yeah, you fucking joke. Everybody hates you. That's what goes into my head. That's part of the imposter syndrome. So I have difficulty at these things. And last night I wasn't drinking, because I don't do that anymore. That used to be the way to get over. It used to be, show up at the appearance and do 3 shots, and then just get crazy and go with it. And, and we had fun that way. And I'm not saying that I don't do that anymore, because I'm not an alcoholic or anything. It's not like I quit drinking. No, I didn't quit drinking. I'll still throw down with you if we need. I just don't all the time anymore. You know what I mean? It's like last night, the weather was so bad. That's the other thing. Congratulations to Sunbrew. And I'm going to move off this subject, but congratulations to Sunbrew. That place was pretty packed last night, and it was a torrential downpour. So we had a good time. I guess the code word has to be high noon or radio misfits. Misfit, maybe misfit. That's it. Promote the misfit brand. So misfit. Call me a misfit and I'll know who you are. Okay. All right. Hold on. So Al says the song Creep I Feel is about me. Yeah, that's not altogether wrong. That is not. Hold on, I have to see something. Bum, 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 bum. Give me a second here, folks. We'll get the show rolling. We'll do this. All right. The chat's not up. Thank you, Byron. Byron producing from the outside. There we go. Now we got the chat up. All right. Thank you. I'm sorry, April. April says, that's what I did at the Improv. April from the chat room. Yeah. Gave April a big hug. But that was at the end of the night. And that was a tough one, too, because there were a lot of rules that I had to follow there. Like, we weren't allowed to, mix and mingle. Because, you perform. And that was the night of the improv thing. There's a lot of rules to, the comedians there. You have to stay in the back. You can't go out with the crowd. They can't see you before. So it was kind of hard. But that was a fun night. I think why don't we all just get a table and go watch a Rangers game? I mean, that seems like something we could do, right? Ross, you like the Angry Bird plushie? He's pointing out my Angry Bird plushie. That was my son's very first toy. That was in my son's crib. I'm going to show you something about the Angry Bird plushie. This was in my son's crib. We call it Angry Bird. We play with it all the time. We used to play a game called Kitchen Soccer where we would use the Angry Bird as a soccer ball. Like I said, a cherished family heirloom from my son's childhood. CeeLo the dog, ladies and gentlemen. CeeLo the dog has destroyed something that was in my son's. There he is. So, yeah, like my Angry Bird plushie. So now we have to put headphones on him in order to keep his brain in his head because CeeLo the dog killed the Angry Bird plushie. All right. Are we ready? Are we done with this nonsense? I think we're done with the nonsense. Let me take a drink. Okay, gang. Let's get started because we got a lot to talk about today. There's a lot of stuff going on here. It is, nope, don't have it up yet. I'm not ready. April says, I am free Wednesday, November 1st. Watch the Ranger games. Peter says, thanks for fixing the chat. You are welcome. Gotta look at the schedule. You know what? Let's do that at the end of the show today. At the end of the show today, let's take a look at the Ranger schedule and let's see if we can't pick a night. Because that'll be fun. I mean, and not like, you know, I'm talking about a bar. You know, I'm just talking like a regular bar. You know, maybe we get a bunch of pizzas, apps, something like that, pitchers of beer, that kind of. It doesn't need to be. I ain't got no money. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? We can't be. Let's just go watch the Ranger game, like a bunch of normal people. That would be fun. Okay, let's get started. Where are we? Here we go. All right, folks, welcome in. It is the High Noon Rant with me, Pugs Moran. It is the 25th day of October, year of our Lord 2023. October 26th is the 299th day of the year. That means 66 days left. 66 days left. The dog just, don't even with me. Don't even. The dog is now out. There's no food in her dog bowl. And I'll fill her dog bowl and then it'll be like that for 2 days and she won't eat anything. And then she'll slowly start to pick away at it. And then it'll be gone for like 10 minutes. Like it's been gone. She ate breakfast this morning. Finished it this morning. So there's nothing to do. So now she's just sitting there staring at the dog bowl, then staring at me. Hey, CeeLo, what are you? Look at her. She goes, CeeLo. Hey, girl. Yeah, that's it. Look, there's nothing in there. Oh, there's a couple of pellets in there. Okay, all right. She's trying to make me feel guilty. Well, she can wait. I'm going to have a bologna sandwich after this stream, baby, and you can have your food then. I'll give you lunch then. All right. You got water? Toilet time, huh, kid? Yeah, there's no water in there either. I got to get her water. All right, let's get started. Let's do the first segment. First quarter of today's show, of course, is Erstwhile on this day, where we take a look back at all the events that have shaped this day and our understanding. Why do we do this? Well, we're looking for hints. We're looking for edge. We're looking for that better's edge. We're trying to figure out what's going to happen in the next couple of hours. And we're looking for rhythms, things that happened at 1750 may have also happened in 1812, and then again in 1930, and then again in 1998. You know, rhythms, they happen. On this day in 1774 in the American Revolution, it was the meeting of the very first Continental Congress. Woo! That's where it all began. Forget about July 4th. It's actually October the 26th. On this day in 1881, boy, here's some cowboy legend stuff, huh? On this day in 1881, Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday participate in the gunfight at the OK Corral. Where did that happen? Where did that happen? Until earlier today, I always thought that happened in Oklahoma. I thought the OK stood for Oklahoma. It made sense to me. No, Tombstone, Arizona. Ladies and gentlemen, if you had Tombstone, Arizona, terrible pizza maker. Terrible pizza comes out of Tombstone. On this day in 1937, Nazi Germany begins the expulsion of 18,000 Polish Jews. Here we go. Here we go. Nobody said nothing. Nobody said, everybody's like, what are they doing? Like, yeah, they're rounding up all the Jews in Poland and send them out. Wait, where? Poland. You said Jews? Yeah, Polish Jews. They rounded them up. All right. And that was it. That was kind of it. That's like what the world reacted. That's how the world reacted. And then, you know, then it all went nuts. On this day, In 2001, the United States passes the U.S. Patriot Act into law. I remember the Patriot Act. I'll tell you a story here about the Patriot Act. I got yelled at by Opie from Opie and Anthony once over the Patriot Act in New York City in a bar. It was me, Kelly, and Opie. And it was when we had gone to New York. New York wanted to hire us. That deal went haywire. That's a story. That's a story. That's a story for the Live 105.3 thing that didn't get told. So anyway, Opie and Anthony wanted us to be on before them. I think that Ron and Fez had been their midday show for a long time, but Ron and Fez were leaving for some reason. And so Opie and Anthony were like, hey, they should be the midday show, whatever. So we get brought out to New York, wined and dine. It was a lot of fun. But it was right around the time of the Patriot Act. And Kelly and Opie were talking about the Patriot Act. And I disagreed with something. And Opie yelled at me. Yelled at me right there in a bar. What are you, a fascist? And I'm like, no, but I do think that cameras on stoplights, in the event that a shoe store blows up, might come in handy. That was my whole take. It's an invasion of privacy. I mean, I don't know where he still stands on it, but I'll never forget that. I just got yelled at by one of my radio heroes. I mean, we were okay. We were fine, but it was one of those heated bar debates. Patriot Act on this day in 2004. On this day in 2012, Microsoft made a public release of Windows 8 and made it available on brand new PCs. I don't know what that means. What is this, 2012? Windows 8? What are we up to now? Windows 10? Probably getting a new one soon. What are you doing, dog? Getting in your chair? You just going to stare at the wall like you do? Is that all? You're just going to sit in your chair and stare at the wall? You're going to ignore me? You're just going to look at your empty food bowl and try and guilt me into stopping the stream? And feed you? Oh, now you're going to lay down. All right, that's her. That's her. She's so good at guilting me. Or just maybe I'm guilty in general. Maybe that's just it. Maybe I just feel guilt. Oh, a dog's guilt. All right, that's going to conclude Erstwhile on this day, Microsoft. Now let's get into it's their birthdays. Wanna. They say it's their birthday. I don't have music rights. All right, celebrating birthdays on this day. Let's go all the way back, shall we? C.W. Post. C.W. Post was born on this day in 1854. C.W. Post is Post cereals. Used to play a game. Such a bad game. I used to have to invent a game every day on a radio show that was on. One of the games that I came up with that I thought was interesting, but nobody liked it. They were like, this game is stupid. Nobody knows these answers. And the game was basically, it was called Serial Drama. And it was, here's the whole game. This is so dumb. And you have to understand that me having to come up with a game every day, they weren't all supposed to be great. Part of the bit was when they sucked, how I would get hammered by everybody on the show for being incompetent and not coming. That was the bit. So the games don't have to be great. But the game that I came up with here on CW Post's birthday was Post cereal, Kellogg's, or General Mills. And I gave you the name of a cereal, and you had to tell me, is this a Post cereal? Is this a Kellogg's cereal? Or is this a General Mills cereal? And as it turns out, absolutely nobody makes any distinction between the cereal brands. They're like, wait, what? But Special K is Kellogg's. I know that. And that was one of the questions. And I think that was the only one I got right. But all right. So yeah, there you go. Dude who made cereal was born on this day. Born on this day in 1914, Jackie Coogan. Jackie Coogan is an interesting story. Jackie Coogan, born on this day in 1914, he was the very first child actor. And he's also the very first child actor to get screwed over by his parents. And he's the very first child actor to go to court over it. Now, remember, born in 1914, what was he a child actor in? So the very famous blockbuster for the time, everybody on earth saw this movie because it was only one of 5 movies available. But The Kid, which was Charlie Chaplin's huge blockbuster, Charlie Chaplin, the little tramp, and then there was a little kid tramp, and that little kid tramp was Jackie Coogan. Jackie Coogan would go on to be in a whole bunch of those movies. He became quite the star in the 1920s and into the 30s. His middle career, when the child stars age into their 20s and 30s, they tend to drop off. Well, he realized that he had no money once he turned 18, all the money that he made as a movie star in the 20s as, this really popular kid actor, the Macaulay Culkin of his age, was gone. His parents spent it. His parents went nuts. So now there is a law that protects children from the entertainment business called the Coogan Law. And that is because of Jackie Coogan. He was the very first person to do that. Now, interestingly enough, Jackie Coogan did have a third act in his career. Jackie Coogan, who played the kid famously in the Charlie Chaplin film. Jackie Coogan is known to all of us as Uncle Fester. That's right. Jackie Coogan would go on to play Uncle Fester in the Addams Family. Jackie Coogan, born on this day in 1914. Born on this day in 1942. Bob Hoskins. I like that dude. Roger Rabbit, Bob Hoskins. I don't know what else he did, but he did that, and he did that well. Born on this day in 1945. One of them dudes, female edition. Yeah, for me. I talked yesterday about how Tracy Nelson, it was Tracy Nelson's birthday. Tracy Nelson from Square Pegs, the sister of Gunnar and Matthew Nelson from the 80s band Nelson, daughter of Ricky Nelson, went to a garden party, granddaughter of Ozzie and Harriet Nelson, Hollywood royalty. I talked about how Tracy Nelson on the show Square Pegs, me watching that as like a 10, 11-year-old, made me a lifelong victim of the bitch girl. Like, she was a bitch girl and I had a crush on her, and I don't know, I didn't know how to like girls at that point, and I liked her and she was mean, and now I like bitch girls. She's ruined me. Tracy Nelson did that. Having a birthday today, born on this day in 1945, Jacqueline Smith also did that. That's right, Jacqueline Smith, Kelly Garrett, Charlie's Angels. A lot of people, like, you're run of the mill, you're normies, your normies were all into Farrah, right? Because Farrah, when they first unveiled Charlie's Angels, you had Farrah and all the normies, all the non-creatives, all the people who are like, I'm just going to go with what seems right. Those people went with Farrah. And why not? You can't go wrong. There's nothing wrong with Farrah. Farrah was a smoke show. Then there was Jacqueline Smith. Then there was Kelly Garrett. She was a little bit different than Farrah. Farrah was kind of like a Southern California bikini girl. And then Jacqueline Smith was like a senator's wife. Like, she was just like, yeah, she was a model for a few years, but then she married she was just like elegant. There was like an elegant, boy. And that's what cool people liked. I think cool people like myself, we like Jacqueline Smith. We appreciated her elegance, her sophistication. We didn't go for the easy one with Farrah. That's easy. Yeah, like easy. But you know what I mean? That's sure. That's expected. Farrah's expected. No, there is a certain refinement to a gentleman who is attracted to Jacqueline Smith. At least that's how I felt at 8 years old. Here's one thing we all knew. All you kinky freaks were into Sabrina Duncan. That was for all the guys who wanted to get freaky and weird, because there was just, she was obvious. You know what I mean? You're into something different if you're attracted to that when your options are Farrah and Jacqueline Smith. Happy birthday, Jacqueline Smith. Born on this day in 1945. Born on this day in 1946. How about Pat Sajak? American journalist, actor, game show host. Proud graduate of my college. Pat Sajak. Who went to your school? Pat Sajak? He went there. Virginia and Michael Madsen? No, I know more people than that, but anyway, happy birthday, Pat Sajak. Born on this day in 1946. Born on this day in 1947. Okay, batten down the hatches, because just the very utterance of this lady's name makes people's heads explode. Happy birthday. Yeah, she deserves one name. She can go with one name. Are you ready? Well, where's Byron? We'll watch Byron's head explode. Happy birthday, Hillary. It's her birthday. It's Hillary's birthday. Girl from Park Ridge, little north side of Chicago. Girl making Byron's head explode right now. Just, where's Barney? Barney don't like me talking about Hillary either. All right, moving on. Happy birthday, Hillary Clinton. Born on this day in 1947. Born on this day in 1951, Bootsy Collins. Yeah, Bootsy having a birthday today. Y'all know Bootsy Collins. Bootsy Collins, a bass player. I guess for like Gen X, white Gen X, like we all know him from Groove is in the Heart, doom, 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 boom, boom, That's Bootsy Collins. But Bootsy Collins was, okay, so he's got a crazy story. He was just a kid playing in bands with his brothers in Cincinnati, Ohio when James Brown came through town. James Brown comes through town. He's like, I need a band. And he would just hire like local bands. So Bootsy and who else, man? Who else? That the other guy. Why is his name explained? One of the great funk guitar players of all time. So anyway, James Brown liked these guys, and he basically stole them, and he was like, now you're in my band. And so they became like James Brown's band. But then James Brown treated everybody like garbage because James Brown was nuts. So Bootsy and the other guys, they went and they formed another band, and that band eventually would become all the George Clinton stuff, P-Funk, Funkadelic, all of that. So that's where Bootsy really earned. Bootsy came up with James Brown, was abused by James Brown, and then became like this god of the movement, of the funk sort of movement with Parliament. And then, of course, in the 90s, Delight brought him back for Grooves in the Heart. Happy birthday, Bootsy Collins. He's cool. He's psychedelic. He's like all like trippy all the time. Bootsy Collins, born on this day in 1951. Born on this day in 1961. Are you ready? Are you ready to play the Dermot Mulroney Dylan McDermott game? It's Dylan McDermott's birthday. Quick, in your head, picture him. There's a good chance you pictured Dermot Mulroney, is all I'm saying. Those two, there is no better example of the Hollywood clone factory than Dylan McDermott and Dermot Mulroney. They're the same person. They're the same actor. They go up for the same roles. How many times do you think Dylan McDermott and Dermot Mulroney have sat next to each other waiting outside to audition and just been like, yes, you again? Born on this day in 1961, Dylan McDermott Mulroney. Born on this day in 1962. Oh, here's another one. Carrie Elways, actor. Carrie Elways, Princess Bride. That was it. He did a couple of things. Carrie Elways was supposed to be like a huge movie star back in the 90s. And then the Hollywood clone factory discontinued. Here's what happened. Here's what I think happened with Carrie Elways. I think they had Carrie Elways and they were like, he does these movies that people like where he's silly, like Princess Bride, but he's a serious British actress and he wants to do boring Jane Austen stuff. So Hollywood was like, yeah, let's not use him anymore. Let's just let's discontinue him. Let's discontinue the Carrie Elways model. Oh, but we don't have anything to fill that gap. And then somebody said, nah, down in R&D, they're working on this Ryan Gosling thing. I think in a couple of years, we're going to be able to just roll him out so we won't have a Carrie Elways problem anymore. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. That's my fantasy of the Hollywood clone factory and how all these actors and actresses are basically the same person. Born on this day in 1962, the discontinued Carrie Elways. Born on this day in 1973, here's a superstar. Here's somebody. These people walk among us, and then they're like, we go to high school with them, we hang out with them, and then all of a sudden, boom, they're like, wow, how are you this talented? It's Seth MacFarlane's birthday. Seth MacFarlane blows me away. Seth MacFarlane blows me away in the way that Donald Glover blows me away. In the way that who else is just so prolific and versatile. Anyway, Seth MacFarlane, I mean, he's not just the voice of Peter Griffin, right? I mean, the guy is an incredible writer, director, producer, creator, funny as hell, good looking, can sing. Have you ever heard him sing? Oh my God. Happy birthday, Seth MacFarlane. You have way too much, but you seem cool. You seem cool about it. So I'm okay with you having way too much. Born on this day in 1977, boy, here's a guy. Now, here's a guy. Sometimes the Hollywood clone factory will hire someone's relative who doesn't really deserve to be in the Hollywood clone factory making decisions on who gets to be famous and who doesn't. And, sometimes people slide through and it's like, oh my God, this person's famous. It happens. And then we all have to pretend like they're a movie star and that they're a celebrity and that they're legit because they've suddenly been anointed by the Hollywood people. And then they go nowhere and they disappear. These are people who, these are your Skeet Ulriches. I don't know. Do you remember Skeet Ulrich? Do you remember Josh Hartnett? I mean, there's these people who Hollywood's like, huge star. And then it's like, and then they go, I'm going to drop a name celebrating a birthday today who you would think, because of the massive influence The one movie he did. You would think the massive influence from this movie would have propelled him into something else. And yes, because I know you nitpickers in the chat room are going to be like, oh, he's done things. No, he hasn't done things. He's done little things. He certainly did not build off the star-making ride that he took when he was starring in Napoleon Dynamite. Talking about John Heder. John Heder, we don't even know how to say his name properly. That's how not famous he is. He was Napoleon Dynamite. He should be, you know who else this happened to? Remember Clerks? Jay? I mean, Silent Bob, we know Silent Bob is Kevin Smith, and he certainly went on to do things. He's a director. But Jay, I thought Jay was going to be a star. You know who else? The dude, the guy, so Clerks was Dante and his friend who worked at his fast-talking friend who worked at the video store. I thought that dude would be a huge star. Nope. Nothing. You know who else? My son and I, we rewatched a couple weekends ago. We rewatched Blair Witch Project. And I'm like, none of these people did anything. What is that about? Imagine being John Heder in 2003. My God, you're like, okay, better build a new wing of the house because I'm going to start getting nominated for Oscars. Nothing. Even Uncle Rico. I see him pop up in things from time to time, and I'm like, you should have been a much bigger star. I don't. Born on this day in 1977, John Heder. Born on this day in 1978. Okay, let's throw down. We've got, I saw that we've got a couple of Lockport folks in the chat room. Let's throw down with the biggest star ever to come out of the great city of Lockport. Now lives in Orland Park, my hometown. Happy birthday, CM Punk. CM Punk, American wrestler, actor. Seems like a good guy. He seems like a really good guy. Lockport Township High School graduate. All right. Let's see here. That's going to do it. Now let's move on to the deads. These are the people who've died. We're going to decide whether or not they go to heaven or hell. We're going to take a look at their life resume, and we will make the decision. Dead on this day in 1806. This is a difficult one. We're going to start out here with a little bit of a tough one. John Graves Simcoe. I don't know if you know who John Graves Simcoe is. So there was a television show. Oh, everything with you is a television show. Ladies and gentlemen, schizophrenic me has woken up. He's here to talk shit on me. Yes, schizophrenic me. A large portion of what I draw upon comes from television. Anything else you want to say to try and mock me and humiliate me in front of my chat room friends? So John Graves Simcoe was featured in a television show. I believe it was an AMC show called Turn. It's excellent. As a matter of fact, it's one that I need to re-binge. Turn is the story of the Revolutionary War and George Washington's spy ring. George Washington had a spy ring inside New York City when it was controlled by the British, and these spies were risking their lives getting all kinds of British troop movement information. Anyway, that's what the TV series Turn is about. John Graves Simcoe, this person who died on this day in 1806, John Graves Simcoe is one of the main characters, one of the bad guys. He is the bad guy. He's the primary bad guy. He is the British redcoat soldier who is ruling over Long Island, New York. And he is brutal, and he is rapey, and he is creepy, and he is an absolute monster of a human being around 1775 through 1780. Now, why is this difficult? Because we got to decide if he goes to heaven or hell. John Graves Simcoe. Difficult because, yes, apparently he did do all of that stuff. He was a bad guy in the Revolutionary War. But after that happened, he moved up to Canada. He founded a little city called Toronto. He is the founding father of Toronto. He also freed in like way before we did and way before everybody else was doing it. He freed all the Canadian slaves. There is a national holiday in Canada called Simcoe Day. They revere him as like this founding father, this George Washington type of Canada. So I don't know. I don't know where he goes. Does he go to hell because of the way he treated old Abe Woodhall on the TV show Turn? Or does he go to heaven because he freed all the slaves and people in Canada think he's awesome for founding Toronto? Here's how I get out of this, okay? He was a politician, too. He became a politician, and what's our rule here? All politicians go to hell. Okay, so there you go. Yeah, you freed the Canadian slaves, but you're a politician, so you go to hell. Dead on this day in 1931, the old Roman, Charlie Comiskey, he can go straight to hell. He owned my Chicago White Sox. He absolutely destroyed that team. He had the best team in baseball. He had the most dominant baseball team ever put together, and he paid them less than any other team in the league. So what did they do? They threw the World Series. That's Charlie Comiskey. You go straight to hell, you son of a bitch. Let's see here. Dead on this day in 2014. This will be the last one. Dead on this day in 2014. Where are we going to put Jack Bruce? Jack Bruce, Scottish singer, songwriter, bass player for Cream. I mean, that's what we know him, right? Jack Bruce, Ginger Baker, Jimi Hendrix, Eric Clapton. I mean, Cream, Jack Bruce. I don't know. He was a rock star in the 60s. And you know, I'm going to put Jack Bruce in heaven because, and here's why. He probably would be, or would he, you know what? Jack Bruce is going to hell. I'm stepping in. Jack Bruce is going to hell because Jack Bruce, based on the way we send people to heaven and hell, is going to have more fun in hell, right? Hell, right? In that way, aren't we kind of deciding that hell seems to be where the cool people are going? I mean, I guess there's some cool people going to heaven. All right, there you go. That's going to do it, folks. That's the end of quarter 1, 2, and 3. We have done erstwhile. We have done birthdays, and now we've done dead. So it is time. It is time once again to remind you that if you want to support the show, this show does run on your tips. Please help us out. This show is 100% viewer and listener funded. We do it every day, Monday through Friday at high noon. We're heading into our 3rd year of doing it. Talk radio the way I believe talk radio should be done, without all the political nonsense, with all that the divisive garbage. We can be divisive, but we can be divisive about stupid shit that doesn't, make us not want to have a beer with each other. That's the goal. All right, let's move into all the things that are happening today, because there are a lot of things happening today, and none of them are fun. Well, one of them's kind of fun. I mean, well, this certainly isn't fun. All right. So last night I was out there at the Back Nine. Thank you to Sean and all the good folks out there at the Back Nine. Appreciate you. We were out there at the Back Nine, and you know me, I'm Johnny News Junkie. So I've got all the alerts on my phones and all that stuff. And so I'm, hey, welcome everybody who wants free t-shirt. I'm doing all that stuff. Meanwhile, I'm glancing down at my phone and I'm watching live streaming coverage of this incident in Maine. Hey. We hadn't had one of these in a while, huh? Yeah, this is, this is the 15th consecutive day of a match. No. I don't, you know me. I have categories. I have boxes that I put these things in. Yes, every day there is a mass shooting. That's because every day somewhere in this country, a bunch of gangbangers have a barbecue and somebody shows up and sprays them. And that qualifies as a mass shooting, as I guess it should. But you know as well as I do, that's not what we, the general public, are afraid of. Why? Because we're not going to a barbecue in South Central. But we are going, where we might go? We might go bowling on a Tuesday night or a Wednesday night. We might go down to Schmengi's. Throw a little darts, shoot a little pool. Why not? We're in Maine. There's not a whole lot to do here. So yes, I believe that this is the first one of this category that we've done since Allen. And if you look at it that way, good, right? When was that? Was there another one? I don't know. Was there another one? And was there another one of these? I'm a crazy person with a gun and I want to kill people because I can. When was the last time? I mean, I think it was Allen, right? Wasn't Allen the last real big one? All right, so we got 18 dead, 13 injured. And let me tell you something. That is a real relief to see, because bullshit news media last night was putting stuff out like 50 dead. 80 shot, just crazy, like cranking it up. And you know how we do these? We like to follow these from the very beginning, from the first report of, with me, I get the scanner reports. I get it when it goes on the police scanner, when the cops are responding to it. So I like to jump in from the very beginning. And let me tell you, there is nothing but bullshit for the first 5 hours of all of these events. Nothing but bullshit. Wait for at least the first press conference being held by authorities. And even then, it's the chief of police. Listen to what he says, because in that moment, he's got all the information. He's the one. He's He's ground zero for everything. So there's a lot of crazy stuff. Multiple shooters. This is Hamas. They've taken over a random Maine town. Yeah, I saw that. Hamas is taking over a random Maine town on a Wednesday just to show that they can. It's just a crazy person. It's just a crazy dude. This is just a guy who spent a couple of weeks in a mental asylum just a few months back, got out. Don't know that he got a clean bill of health. I just know that his health insurance probably ran out and said, time to go. Fucking nuts, man. I mean, all right, so I'll give you the details here. How much time are we going to spend on this, right? There's a manhunt. They're looking for the dude. They didn't catch him. We'll give you all this, and then we'll go over it now. Kind of give you my free-flowing thoughts. Here's what we know. At least 18 people are dead. 13 others are injured after shootings at a bar and a bowling alley. So there were two locations here. There was Schmangy's, which is a bar and grill. Lovely town. Oh my God, I was driving around this town last night. Google Maps. I was virtually driving around this town last night. Beautiful town. What? I mean, my God. I mean, if there is any place in America where you should be able to go, this doesn't happen here. It's in Lewistown, Maine. I mean, jeez. And also, you could see how the guy got away. Like, I can see how if you're just going to go on a rampage in a place like Lewistown, Maine, you're just going to roll up Lisbon Avenue. That's the street, Lisbon, 196. You're just going to roll up Lisbon. First at the south end of Lisbon, you're gonna pull into the parking lot at Schmangy's. You're gonna walk in with your gun. You're gonna spray the place, and then you're gonna get in your car and you're gonna get back on Lisbon 196. You're gonna take it about 3 miles north to a rec center bowling alley called Spare Time. You're gonna walk in there. You're gonna do the same thing. So that's what we know he did. But man, like I said last night, it was another location. Shots fired at a fifth location. It's believed that there are multiple. It's like, okay. Let's all take a breath. Just a crazy person. Just a crazy person with access to guns. That's all it is. That's it. Get all the politics and all your nonsense out of it. That's what it is. It's a crazy person who went fucking crazy and he grabbed whatever was handy. That's all. Now, go from there. Take your debates outside of the show because we don't want to do it. Police named Robert Card, 40, as a suspect in the shootings. An arrest warrant on murder charges has been issued. He remains at large. And that's what I mean. Looking at this town, driving around this town, looking at the police station. It's not, look, I don't want to give you the impression. It's not Mayberry. It's divided by a river with another town called Auburn. So the combined Auburn, Lewiston, metro area is like 60,000 people. That's a good sized suburb. And it's, I don't know what's the biggest city in Maine. Whatever the biggest city in Maine is, it's not far from there. It's like, maybe about 20 miles. So it looks like it's 60,000. So anyway, my point is this, it's not Mayberry. It's not in the middle of nowhere, but driving around and looking at this town, I don't know. They probably only got like 5 cops, like working that side of the river. Maybe Auburn's got more cops on the other side, but they don't have a SWAT team. Like there's no way this town has a SWAT team. So it's just a dude. And I bet you like a bunch of the cops are, reserve cops or something. I don't know, but the guy got away and the guy got away easily because, response times are probably, there's something going on down at the bowling alley. It's Maine, you get that kind of response. Now the FBI and Canadian authorities are involved as well because apparently it bumpers up to the Canadian border. So now you're thinking he may have tried to get there. He's on the run. This guy got away. It's insane. There is a manhunt. They believe he might be in Boston because, I don't know, somebody said that they had friends in Boston or something. We know how Boston handles manhunts. Boston will shut that whole place down. They'll put tanks in the streets and they'll find you hiding in a boat. They'll tell you to get out. And when you don't, they'll light that boat up. That's how Boston deals with it. Hope he is in Boston. 7 people were found dead at just-in-time recreation bowling alley. 8 were found dead at Schmangy's Bar and Grill. And 3 were pronounced dead at area hospitals. Officials have urged residents of Lewistown, Maine's second largest city, about 30 miles north of Portland. That's it, Portland. About 30 miles north of Portland and nearby Auburn to shelter in place. Residents in other communities have also been asked to stay put, and many schools and businesses are closed. NBC News' Lester Holt blah, blah, blah. Okay, whatever. Those other people who were reporting on this. Okay, so there is a maniac out there who is just randomly walking into places and killing strangers. And the cops are like, stay in your house. Stay in my house. I'm getting in my car and I am getting out of that town. Not staying in my house. I don't know if you know this, but there's a well-armed and well-trained, by the way. He's apparently a tactical expert. Although I don't know about that. That's also something that was reported that I have no idea. All I know for a fact that's being reported is that he's an Army reservist. And that he went into it. They put him, here's what he did. They put, oh God. So tell me, were there any signs that this guy might be dangerous? Well, yeah, he said that he was going to come and shoot up the military base that he works at. So we put him in a mental institution for 2 weeks. Okay. Fuck you and your red flag. Well, fuck you. Get the fuck out of here. And they don't even have him there. But then you think this is going to stop it. People are incompetent. He went, I'm going to shoot up the military base. And they went, you're crazy. Okay, I washed my hands of it. You now go to that little crazy bin. And he goes there for a couple weeks. And then he gets out and everybody forgets about him. They're like, stay away from that guy. That guy's crazy. And then 2 months later, he does this. Fucking crazy people. And we knew he was crazy. It's another one that we knew he was crazy. Threatened to. He said he was going to do it. And he did it. Man of his word. That Andrew, what's his name? I don't care. It doesn't matter. I don't need to remember his name. All right. So there's obviously a manhunt going on. It's going to be going on. I don't know. I don't know when it's going to end. If it does, it'll be a big thing. And if we're not on, we'll jump in and we'll do a live stream to coverage any kind. Like for instance, if they get him pinned in a boat like they did with Jokovic. What was that guy's name? Tsarnaev. I know that's his last name. Joe Tsarnaev. Remember they lit up the boat? That was exciting. If they do that, we'll do a special stream. We're lighting up a boat stream. Moving on. Other big news. Israel is, did you hear about Israel? Hey, did you guys hear about Israel? Yeah, there's something going on over there as well. Israeli troops have carried out a ground raid. Special forces troops carried out a ground raid in Gaza, up in the northern part. This isn't a full-scale invasion, but they went in, and it is the first time that they've gone in. This is believed to be a advance team for the forthcoming ground invasion, which, I don't know, could start any minute. I'll tell you this. The United States of America has supposedly requested Netanyahu's government to take a pause on their big, crazy attack plan. It's obvious there's an attack coming. There's 300,000 troops on the border, and everybody knows it's coming. So the United States has asked Netanyahu to take a break. And the reason for this is because defense systems, we are installing. The United States military wants a couple of days to make sure that they can install all of these defense systems and all that. I'd buy that. I mean, I'd buy it. It sounds viable. What do I know? I don't know anything about this stuff. That sounds like something that might have to happen. I don't know. So I buy it. But now there's a whole bunch of people in Israel who are saying, no, that's not the real reason. The real reason is that Netanyahu's scared. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't think he's scared. I just think he's listening to America right now, because America doesn't want one of our ships to get blown up because we weren't ready because Netanyahu went too quickly. I buy it for a couple of days. And that's a 2-day-old story at this point. So this ground incursion into Gaza may be a signal that, okay, the United States military weapons, defense systems, and all that are in place. And now we're back on with the plan. So we're back watching, see what happens. Another report out there is saying that there is now conclusive proof that some Hamas fighters that engaged in this battle from 3 weeks ago now, some of these Hamas fighters, there's film of them training in Iran, which is, a lot of people trying to make the case for let's go to war with Iran. I think that if Iran sits this out, that we should sit this out. I don't think that we should be saber rattling at Iran. I think we should let Israel and Hamas fight this out and not encourage anyone else to get involved, ourselves included. Let's just, right now it's a parking lot at a bar after closing time, and we've all made a circle. We're all in the circle. We're all in there drinking, and we're friends. We don't even really know each other because we're all just different people, but we've created this fight circle in the parking lot. And Israel and Hamas are going to go at it, and we're all just going to, we're going to keep, none of us are going to jump in. Don't jump in, Iran. Hamas is going to get its ass kicked. We know this, but Hamas shot its mouth off. Hamas grabbed Israel's girlfriend's ass at the bar. We all saw it. We saw Hamas grab Israel's girlfriend's ass at the bar. Now Hamas has to take their beating. Iran, step back. That's what's going on. Let's see here. And that's it. Look, you want to know more? There's plenty of people covering it. I'm so tired of these, negative stories. You know me, I like the dumb stories. I like to have the fun, but I need to get you guys, we need to all be up to speed on all of this stuff. Speaker of the House. We got a Speaker of the House, ladies and gentlemen. Look at us. We all grows up with a functioning government and everything. Look at us. Hey, said it couldn't be done. We got a speaker. I don't even know the speaker's name. Mike Johnson. I think that's it. I don't know. Like I said, the only guy that could get the votes to be speaker was a guy who was a blank slate. Was a guy, not a blank slate, but a blank slate as far as like the average guy who votes for you knows him. Nobody knows who Mike Johnson is. Mike Johnson hasn't been dragged on Hannity. Mike Johnson hasn't, been pestered by Rachel Maddow. None of that stuff. Nobody knows Mike Johnson. Although nobody knew Mike Johnson yesterday. Oh boy, here we go. Apparently Mike Johnson's got a Twitter handle. All this stuff. He hates gays. We got apparently, I said yesterday, I go, this is going to be fun, guys. He's blank slate. We're going to start hearing all the stuff about our new speaker that, maybe if this stuff had been known, he probably would be there. But he was there because nobody knew anything about him. They're like, how long you been here? He looks like a nerd. He looks harmless, So they made him speaker. Whatever. I'm fine. Move forward. Let's go. Let's go. It's a republic. Let's see if the Republicans can get their shit together because they are the dominant force in the House. Let's get some stuff done. Let's go. Wishful thinking. I don't know. Just a big clusterfuck. Anyway, Mike Johnson. Is that him? Mike Johnson? Or it sounds like a cornerback, right? Doesn't he? In the third round, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers take out of the University of Clemson, Mike Johnson. Here's another story. You want to make me mad again? Gross domestic product. Oh, yeah, they're cramming this story down our neck today. It means absolutely nothing to you and me. U.S. gross domestic product grew at a 4.9 annual pace in the third quarter. Almost double what was expected. Well, I'd say get new people who make your predictions because that seems like maybe the original estimate was wrong because I'm telling you, shit ain't great out there. $1.50 sodas are still a thing. $1.50 2-liter bottles of generic soda at Kroger. That's still a thing. Gas isn't under $2, which it absolutely should be. There is no reason gas should be more than $2 a gallon, but it is because people got to get rich. And some people like to have a Learjet for every day of the week. So gas has got to be over $2. But they're pushing this story that the GDP, the gross domestic product, a measure of all goods and services produced in the United States, rose at a 4.9 annualized pace in the third quarter. The sharp increase came to, I don't care. Anyway, this stuff is nonsense. None of us understand it. Some of you might. I shouldn't say that. I just project my stupidity on everybody else. So some of you might understand it. But look, for me, it's about price of gas and it's about the price of bread. The price of bread is like $2 the generic bread, just the simple white Kroger generic bread used to be 99 cents. It's $2 a loaf. That is what I'm concerned about. You peddle your GDP and we're so excited. The economy's booming. You peddle that nonsense somewhere else. Get my gas prices down and get me a generic Coke Zero knockoff under $1. The way it was. It used to be 89 cents. It's $1.50 now. Ugh. The whole point is look, hey man, I'm reasonable. I am reasonable. You started at 89. That's how you got me addicted to this off-brand Coke Zero. You started at 89 cents. It's terrific too, by the way. I'm talking about the Kroger brand Cola Zero. It is so good. It is better than Coke Zero. I think anyway. Anyway, let's start it out at 89 cents. You're at $1.50 now. That's absurd. Go to 99. Come on, please don't. Go away. Go away. You're embarrassing yourself. Go away. I give you the 10 cents. Make a 10-cent profit. It's America. We're all for it. That's fine. 89 cents to 99 cents. You can go up 10 cents a year. You know, I think if that's fine. Go up. You can't go up 60 cents, 61 cents over the course of like 2 months. You can't do it. You can't do it. So take your gross domestic product, take your end zone dance, shove it up your butt. All right. What do we have? Oh, God. Oh, man. What we got no good stories today? Hero Dad. Hero Dad. You know when the title is Hero Dad, the dad's dead. Dad is dead now because he died a hero. Where is this? This feels very Florida. Hold on. Let me see where it is. Ugh. He's a fighter pilot. He was like he's a decorated military fighter pilot. So he's a legit hero. And then this dumb shit has to happen. Hero ex-fighter pilot dad. Excuse me. Hero ex-fighter pilot dad dies by electrocution, saving sons from faulty water fountain. All right, so here's the story. Where are they at? Where did this happen? It feels very Florida. This feels like something. It feels like if there's going to be a mall with a faulty fountain, that it's going to be Florida. But well, I'll be damned. Ladies and gentlemen, I was actually just Jupiter, Florida. This took place in Jupiter, Florida. Wow. A married father of 4 war veteran has died, saving his 2 young sons from a Florida shopping center fountain that somehow became electrified. Nate Davenport, 45 years old, a retired U.S. Navy fighter pilot and successful businessman, was spending time with his 3 youngest children at the Harborside Place shopping and dining complex in Jupiter, Florida, Sunday afternoon. When at least 2 of the kids jumped into a splash pad to play. This, according to family members. So they're at the mall. And 2 of the kids jump into what their family is calling a splash pad to play. Okay. The kids, upon jumping into the water, began screaming, "We're getting shocked! We're getting shocked!" And then that's when he rushed in to save them. Davenport reached into the water and pulled his sons, ages 8 and 11, to safety, but was electrocuted in the process. The incident left 3 children and 2 adults injured, inducing Davenport and his boys. Oh, my God. You know what? You got to see this dude. This is a tragedy. This is a freaking tragedy. Oh, my God. You got to see this family. You want to feel like shit? How am I doing this? Oh, my God. Yeah, because we don't have enough to be upset about. We got to be upset about this now. All right, whatever. You're curious. I know. You're morbidly curious. You want to see what he looks like. You want to see a picture of him and his beautiful wife and his adorable kids. Ugh, they don't have a dad anymore. Yikes. That ain't fun. All right, here, I'm going to show you these people. So how does a fountain get electrocuted? And I'm going to say something. After we see these people, we're going to look at these people, and then I'm going to tell you, I'm going to kind of go edgy on you here because I got a take that may not be popular, but I think it's real. Okay. So here you go. Come on, get out. Look at them. Would you look at them? Look at these people. These people are like, and he's dead now because he tried to save his 2 kids who were in a splash pad. That's what they called it. The mall, who is saying, yeah, not our fault. The mall says that wasn't, you're not allowed to get in the fountain. There's a fountain. It's one of those like wishing fountains. And that there are signs everywhere that say, get out of the fountain. You can't get in the fountain. Please stay out of the fountain. I've seen those. We know those. I think average people know the difference between a water park and a mall fountain, right? When you get in the mall, dude, if you're walking down the street in a downtown area and you pass a big building and they have a fountain, you don't think it's okay to get in the fountain, do you? I mean, maybe if it's like, maybe if there's like little fountains that shoot up out of the wall, like, if, you know what I mean? Like if it's like on the ground, they got little fountains that shoot, maybe then you can walk through it and all that. And that's fun. And everybody does that. But an actual fountain, like a wishing fountain, you're not allowed to get in that. And that's what the mall is saying this is. And tragedy, yeah. But why is this dad letting these kids get in a fountain? That's like very trashy behavior. That's like, get out. Like if my kid was 5 years old and was like, we're at the mall and he's like, I want to go in the fountain, I'd be like, get out of the fountain. People are watching. You know, that would just look bad. So, man, that's not, I mean, now the family, of course, the family in the story, they're calling it a splash pad. They jumped into a splash pad to play. The terminology there, splash pad, suggests that a human would be cupping their hands and splashing. So the suggestion being that this is a place that is perfectly acceptable to play. That's what the family called it, a splash pad. The mall's saying it's a fountain. Now, none of these details change the fact that this is an absolute tragedy. And look at this beautiful family. This is a tragedy, man. But I don't know. I think, here's what I think. I think the mall has a problem. I don't know that the mall is like responsible. I think the mall has a point. Like when it goes to court and they're like, we're suing the mall company for $100 million. When that happens, and I would maybe like to see the family get $100 million, but I don't think they will, because I think they're going to be like, this wasn't a water park. Okay. These kids were not supposed to be in that fountain. Yes, the fountain was faulty and we had a problem, but it was because of their actions that people are dead, not us. We had no anticipation that anybody would be in our fountains. What with the signs we put up that say, don't get in the fountains. Yeah, it was electrocuted. We'd have found that out a different way, you know, but whatever. Okay. So liable for the electrocution. That's a problem. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know if they're like ultimately responsible, because we're going to have to find out if this is in fact a fountain or a splash. And even if it is a fountain, does this fountain have a history in the community of being a place where people routinely get in and play? If that's something, because right, you know, there might be fountains where standard fountain rules don't apply. Like, no, this is like what we do is we just get in this fountain okay. So if that's a thing, then people get in the fountain. I don't know. It's a terrible story. Look at them though. What a nice family. All right, moving on. Please, Lord, give me some good stuff. Give me something nice. Oh, well, I don't know. This might be nice. Here's a new study that's out listing the top 10 most thievinous states. Is it states or cities? Oh, it's cities. Top 10 thievinous cities in America. Chat room. Go ahead. Give me who you think. Where is retail theft the biggest? Name the cities in America that you think retail theft is the biggest. Because you're going to be shocked by this list. Or maybe not. I don't know. I was shocked by it. I did not think that. So this is where all the thieves live, huh? Thieving is such. Thieving, stealing, like going into a store and stealing. God, that's so low rent. Now, I'm not above being a criminal, but if you're going to be a criminal, be an arch criminal. Like if you're doing something that could land you in jail. And honestly, it doesn't matter, because any jail sentence past 2 years for me, I'm committing suicide. I'm not going to ride out anything more than 2 years in jail. I've had a good life. I've had fun. I don't need to spend 10 years in jail. So if I commit myself to a big crime, it ain't going to be thieving. It ain't going to be like that. It's going to be like moving 100,000 pounds of heroin through. That's going to be something like that. It's going to be something, where the payoff, should I get away with it, and I'm hoping that I do, is going to be good. Thieving. That's such a low rent. Anyway, here we go. Here's the list. This is this 10? What are they going to give us? The 10 thievingest cities in America? All right, let's start with number 10. Let's wait 10, 9, 8. Wait, is this in order? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. All right, it looks like this is. All right, so here we go. We'll just go from 1 to whatever, because the list is worded strangely, because they've got commentary after each city. All right, so number 1, the thievingest city in America. You want to get something stolen? You operate a store. You want to, we see all these videos that we get so mad at. The number 1 thievingest city in America is Los Angeles, California. A lot of stores. Number 2 thievingest city in America is a combo It's a tie here at number 2. And why not? It's probably being done by the same thieves because Oakland and San Francisco are number 2 in the thievingest cities in America. Number 3, oh, how about this one? Let's get on the road and head on down to Houston, get our car stolen. Houston is the 3rd thievingest city in America. What else we got? New York City comes in next. New York City. This is what's shocking to me. New York City is less thieving than Houston. What? Really? Because I think a lot of grifters and anyway, moving on. Seattle, Washington comes in next. The thievingest cities in America. Atlanta, Georgia. Bunch of thieving sons of BIs down there. And the list rounds out with Sacramento, California, Denver, Colorado, Miami, Florida, and Albuquerque, New Mexico. There you go. Those are your thievingest cities in America. You know, the most violent city in America is St. Louis, and St. Louis didn't even make the list for thievingest. Isn't that weird? Wouldn't you think? I guess they just kill you. They just gonna murder you in St. Louis. St. Louis did not make the thievingest list. This is the 5th consecutive year that Los Angeles has topped the list after overtaking New York City in 2018. So in 2018, New York City was the most thievingest city in America, which I would expect. And then Los Angeles overtook it. And in the time that Los Angeles overtook New York City back in 2018, New York City has dropped to the 5th thievingest city. So from number 1, it's now the 5th. You're more likely to get thieved on in Houston, Oakland, San Francisco, or Los Angeles than you are in New York City. All right, there you have it. That's fun. Those lists are fun. Boy, I got a lot of open windows. Hold on, guys. I got to do a little maintenance here. I have no food. I gotta go food shopping. I have no food. So that's me humming. That was weird. I guess I'm having McDonald's because I just randomly went, dun, dun, dun. I don't know why I'm thinking about McDonald's. I guess I'm having McDonald's. I say that like, oh, I guess I'm having McDonald's. No, I know I'm having McDonald's because that is my go-to. I never have food on Thursdays. I go food shopping on Saturday. Oh, I never have food. By Thursday, I got nothing. So my routine now is I go to my kids' game, and on the way back, I treat myself to ba-da-ba-ba-ba. All right, let's see. Cocaine vaccine. How about this? Here's a story coming out of Brazil. They've got a vaccine that they believe will cure you of cocaine addiction. Now, I thought you just stop, right? You know what'll cure you of cocaine addiction? Being stranded on a desert island. So it'll cure you. It'll suck. Don't get me wrong. It's going to suck. It's going to be like really bad. First, you're on a desert island. Secondly, you're going to be like really wanting blow, but you can't get it. Brazil scientists developing new vaccine for cocaine addiction. It says here, scientists in Brazil, the world's second biggest consumer of cocaine. Well, keep trying, Brazil. You'll get there. Scientists in Brazil, the world's second biggest consumer of cocaine. America, right, is number 1. It's got to be. Wait, we're number 1. Anything bad, we're number 1. And then anything good, we're like number 3 or 4. That's us. That's the state of current America. Anything really good, we're like 3 or 4. And then anything like really bad, we're like number 1. Scientists in Brazil, the world's second biggest consumer of cocaine, have announced the development of an innovative new treatment for addiction to the drug and its powerful derivative, crack. That is a vaccine. They've created a vaccine for cocaine dubbed Calyx Coca. The test vaccine, which has shown promising results in trials on animals, triggers an immune response that blocks cocaine and crack from reaching the brain, which researchers hope will help users break the cycle of addiction. Put simply, addicts would no longer get high from doing the drug. Okay. So it goes into a whole bunch of science stuff, like it attaches itself to molecules, and the molecules are too big to be fed into the receptors in the brain that create the endorphins. Okay, so it's all that stuff. So you understand, we don't need to break down the science. Let's just talk about what this is. Okay, so cocaine addiction. I'm addicted to cocaine. I'm ruining my life. I need it. I need it. I need it. And they've got this thing now, and you take a pill. It's like, okay, take a pill. All right, it's cocaine vaccine. I've taken the pill, but I still want cocaine. This vaccine doesn't make you not want cocaine. Here's what this vaccine does. I want cocaine. I want cocaine. Take the pill. I take the pill. I still want cocaine. I still want cocaine. Okay, here's some cocaine. Oh, thank you, cocaine. You just don't get high, but you're still addicted to it. The physical addiction of the thing. So you just don't get high, that you're still addicted. They've still got you. You're just not getting high. That's what this great idea is. This is well, it's not a terrible idea for the pharmaceutical companies. It's not a terrible idea for them. These people are still going to be jonesing for blow, and they're going to buy it, and they're just not going to get high on it. And how long do you think they're going to keep taking the pill that stops them from getting high every time they jones? The vaccine should be something that stops you from jonesing. You don't jones because you like the intoxicating effect. The intoxicating effect, you jones because there are things that you're addicted to in your blood. The high is just, why you do it. The actual addiction is the end result of chasing that high. So they're just taking the high away. But you're still addicted. Yes, I don't get high anymore, but I still go through an 8-ball a day. Calms my nerves. I'm a wreck without my 8-ball a day. Okay, all right. So there you go. That's the big idea coming out of Brazil. I don't like that. I think that's dumb. Anyway, maybe I'm dumb. Maybe I got it completely wrong. That's the fun of this show. This is a 2-hour stream of consciousness. No breaks, no interruptions, no nothing. I just talk with no filter. And sometimes the stupidity that is ingrained deeply within my very soul reveals itself. What's this story here? Cannabis for anxiety. What is that about? I don't even remember doing that story. Wellness, anxiety, medical marijuana. All right, let me see what this is. Very early this morning, I put these together. I don't remember reading this. Must have been before my coffee. Oh, here's what it's saying. Okay, so that's right. This is from the Wall Street Journal. The cannabis that people are using for anxiety is probably making it worse. Okay. So a way to read that headline, and we don't read actual stories. We just read headlines. We read headlines and go, yeah, I heard smoking marijuana makes anxiety worse. Right? That's what most people will take from that. So you read the whole story. And you know what this whole story is about? Just about people not knowing about strains. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. If the takeaway from this is that marijuana doesn't help with anxiety, then that is a great disservice to anxious people everywhere. Because marijuana, absolutely, I can tell you for one, go ahead. They want you to take Prozac, or they want you to take any number of other stupid drugs. I took all of them. They made me feel like my bones were growing inside my skin. Like I just felt uncomfortable. I was constantly going like this because my fingers felt like they were growing, like they were it was a terrible sensation. I'd rather feel anxious. I would rather feel anxious than that. Take a couple of bong rips when you're just horribly anxious. And guess what? You're fucking normal. It makes you normal. It doesn't make you high. It doesn't make you, well, I mean, you are high, but you're not like 2 bong rips. You're not like, it's Spicoli. No, you're like a normal functioning person who can have a conversation because you're not filled with anxiety anymore because for some reason, those 2 rips made all of that go away. That's a fact. That is a fact about marijuana, and it's one of the it's one of the reasons why it's been indisputed for years. It's like one of the first things that the doctors talk about. It's great for depression. It's great for anxiety. This is a fact. But now we're getting into an era where marijuana is real, and when you make something real and legal, now we've got a big business. So now we are becoming more aware of different kinds of marijuana. And yes, sativas will get you all wigged out. If you just think I've got anxiety, here, smoke some weed, and you just smoke random weed, and that weed happens to be a sativa, yeah, that's not going to help your anxiety at all because sativas are for creatives. Sativas are what you smoke when you want to sit at a piano and write a song. Sativas are what you smoke when you want to just, get on your laptop and just write some poetry. That's what sativas are for. They make your brain go gunk. But if you're anxious or if you suffer from some sort of depression, I'm not a doctor. All I can do is tell you how I self-medicated. But if you've got any of those things, you need an indica, which is the other strain. There are two kinds. There are two, basically think of it as male and female, right? Even though there are male and female. But still, let's think of it like that, like two genders of weed. There's sativas and there's indicas. And they're both wonderful, and they both do completely different things. Like I always think of it this way, right? So my thought is indica is what you would get if you want to sink indica couch. I know that's bad. If you want to sink into the couch, it's indica. Ouch. That's how I remember it. Or at least that's how I did remember. But that's it. If you want to be mellow and you want to relax and you need something to take the edge off, then you make sure that you get an indica. And if you're doing this because, let's have some fun, let's have some laughs, let's joke around, we're at a party, or if you're trying to be creative, then you want a sativa. So this Wall Street Journal article is just, putting out this bad information to a bunch of old people who are going to read the headline and go, see, cannabis ain't good for anxiety. No, it is. But if you're taking sativas and you have anxiety, it's probably not the best course of treatment for you. I would go with an indica. Moving on. Edibles are fantastic. Ross, you big old weed head. Ross making it complicated. Some indicas identify as sativa. I know, that's a funny joke. It's a trans joke. I had to go there with the gender, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Okay, hey, you guys want to shit on Goldie Hawn? Let's do that. Come on. We all think Goldie Hawn's amazing, right? Especially if you're a Gen X guy. We grow up, we love Goldie Hawn. Let's shit on her a little because she's a weirdo. Turns out Goldie Hawn's weird as hell. Goldie Hawn went on a podcast and she was talking about aliens. Now, I'm a big alien guy. Love the whole alien thing. Love the whole, UFO, UAP, that whole game. Love it. Fascinated by it. Goldie Hawn went on a podcast and started talking about how she had an experience with aliens, and it is just so freaking stupid 70s Hollywood dumb blonde. It's just so weird. It's just okay. I'm going to tell you the story. Goldie Hawn says an alien touched me, and it felt like the finger of God. Goldie Hawn may have had a very close encounter with a third kind. She claims an alien once touched her. The actress and mother of Kate Hudson is known for appearing in the likes of Death Becomes Her First Wives Club and Private Benjamin, and recently appeared on Apple Fitness audio something, Time to Talk. All right, so this is the podcast she was on. She claims that rather than being ambushed, Time to Walk, which is what she appeared on. Time to Walk features guest speakers talking about their lives and experiences. And a recent episode saw Goldie Hawn talk about her extraterrestrial encounter. She claims that rather than being ambushed by little green men, she had in fact asked the aliens to visit her. And they did. Oh, shut up. Big Private Benjamin fans were the alien race. The star, now 77, revealed the incident happened in her 20s when she was living in California at a time where there were a lot of UFO sightings. Oh, yeah, because that makes it more believable. A lot of UFO sightings back in the 70s, a lot of people taking psychedelics, a lot of people tripping, I'm sure. There's always been a lot of UFO sightings, Goldie. It's not like they've disappeared. I went outside my door, she says. I went outside my door and I sat on this little edge. And I looked up at the dark sky and I saw all these stars. And all I could think of was, are we the only planet in the whole wide universe that has life on it? This is Goldie Hawn in the 1970s. She said she called out to any aliens listening, saying she knows we're not alone and I would like to meet you one day. All right, hold on. Come on, give me more story. And just 4 months later, she was nestling down for a nap in a friend's car while working as a dancer and heard a high frequency in her ear. She claims she then saw 3 triangular-shaped heads Silver in color with a tiny little Okay, let's break this down. All right, so this is before famous Goldie Hawn. This is like Goldie Hawn when she was still a stripper. She was a dancer. She was a stripper she was burlesque and a go-go girl and all that stuff. So she's passed out in a car while working as a stripper. Do we need to? I want to know the 15 minutes. I want to know what happened in the 15 minutes before she went to sleep in that car, just to find out where we are. Just need a little more context than stripper Goldie Hawn sleeping in the backseat of a car when a bunch of aliens wake her up. Sure, they're not Japanese businessmen. It was like the 1970s. They loved blondes. She claims that she saw 3 triangular-shaped heads, silver in color, with a tiny little nose, no ears, and a slash for a mouth. The aliens were pointing at me, discussing me like I was a subject. You were a drunk stripper, crashed out in the back of a car. These were 3 horny homeless men. This is not aliens. You tell yourself what you need to tell yourself, but I'm certain that as a young actress, you went through some stuff. Somebody dropped something in your drink. It was the most benevolent, loving feeling. This was so powerful. It was filled with light, their touch. Goldie never forgot the experience and went on to speak to astrophysicists and researchers, claiming she once dreamed about aliens, and the very next day, crop circles appeared near where she was staying. The star is mom to grown-up children, Kate, 44, and Oliver, 47, and Wyatt Russell, 37, with longtime partner Kurt Russell. Each of her children, as well as her partners, are actors. Okay, this is all stupid stuff. There you go. What did we learn? Goldie Hawn's a nut. None of that happened. Seriously, she says she was passed out. She was a dancer. She was sleeping in a car, as she says. This was back when I was dancing. I was sleeping in a friend's car. Hold on, Goldie. Hold on. Stop. Here's what I know. You were really hot. Like you were like a really hot 20-year-old. And so you're a dancer and all that. And you're trying to make your way in Hollywood. And by the way, you did. Hi, I'm from the future. You did make it. You became very famous. But let's go back to this night when you were, what do you mean you're sleeping in a car? And then 3 men or 3 aliens. Yeah, just think there's probably another story here. All right, Goldie Hawn's a wackadoo. There you go. But when you woke up this morning, you didn't think that was going to be a thing. You know what? Yesterday when I woke up, about midday afternoon, I had no idea that I was going to learn this. Here's an interesting piece of news. Check this out. You guys following what's going on with Dwight Howard? You know, Dwight Howard, NBA superstar. Dwight Howard. Well, he's still playing. He's playing in Taiwan. He played last year. He was in the NBA last year. Now he's in Taiwan. And why not? He'd probably make the league minimum in the NBA. And he's like, I got 1 year left, and they'll pay him way more in Taiwan. So why not go over there? Love Dwight Howard. Always liked him. Exciting player, flamboyant player, charismatic guy, commercials. You know, he was big. There was a period of time. Dwight Howard was one of the biggest names in all of basketball. Did you guys know he was gay? I did not know Dwight Howard was gay. Nobody did until about 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon when this story came out. I mean, first of all, Dwight Howard being gay he's the biggest sports name ever, right? I mean, we are going to be in an era very soon when it's going to be quite common to have gay people playing baseball, football. They're going to be out. They're going to be public. It's going to be fine. This next generation is out and proud. I'm telling you, it is the next generation. It is these kids that are like 16, 17 right now. We're a couple years away. It's going to be, so get used to it. It's going to be a normal thing. But look at this. See, this is how the slow creep. We knew Dwight Howard for all of this time. Some people love him. Some people hate him. Doesn't matter. You know, good basketball player. Dwight Howard, bigger than life figure. All this time, we're used to him. He's a thing. Now we find out he's gay. What do we change our feelings about him? You can't do that. Slow creep. We're okay with it. Well, I guess gay people do play sports at a high level. There you have it. So how do we know he's gay? Because he certainly didn't hold a press conference or do anything performative like that. No, he's just out there living his life. He's getting shaken down. So this happens. We see this all the time with, baby mamas for NBA players and all this kind of stuff. Well, apparently it happens in the gay community too. Dwight Howard is being shaken down by a man who says that Dwight Howard physically assaulted him, sexually assaulted him, and did all of this stuff. And Dwight Howard is saying, You want to know what Dwight Howard's response to that was? Being accused of sexual assault. Dwight Howard's response in court, documented in court papers, is it was consensual. I was having consensual sex with him. That little allocution there in court, that thing that is now a part of the public record. Wow. I mean, that's a piece of history. It's a piece of history. Dwight Howard is a gay man, or at the very least, having gay sex with other men. I mean, that's pretty big. That's pretty big. Maybe now he comes out publicly. Maybe now, I mean, get him out of Taiwan. Let him do that deal with Taiwan. He's not going to play anymore because he's getting old. But now he does the talk show circuit. Now he's a curiosity. Tell us about, how long have you been gay? Fascinating. He is certainly the biggest name. I mean, because here's the other thing too. I know a member of the 1985 Chicago Bears who's gay, and this person has been gay for years and years, and this person is not out of the closet. There you go. I narrowed it down to the 9. So there have been gay players. They're just not public, right? It's never been. I just want to thank my husband. We haven't seen that yet. And we will. It's going to be fine. The whole world isn't going to spin off its access. It's just going to be a thing. Just words. Because trust me when I tell you that you have marveled at the athleticism of gay men before. You just didn't know it. Just had no idea. Who's Greg Louganis, right? The diver, the swimmer? Is he a diver or a swimmer? He is an incredible athlete. So that was a good one. The other, like we had Michael Sam. Remember Michael Sam? It was like the first gay player in the NFL, but he wasn't good, right? So it's easy for a dude who's not good to be able to, brave, wonderful thing, not taking anything away from Michael Sam. But he wasn't good, Dwight Howard was good. Greg Louganis was good at his thing. Those are all important, I think, for people to get used to. That, yeah, you could get dunked on by a gay dude, okay? So stop acting like gay dudes are all Paul Lynn wearing ascots and going, It's not how it is. And it's the slow creep to that realization. I'm telling you, this next generation, there are going to be a whole bunch of gay people on sports teams. There are going to be dudes holding hands. There's going to be dudes date. We are going to get to a point in this world where dudes on a team are going to date. Oh, and it's going to drive you nuts. It's going to make you crazy. Not me. I'm going to be like, whatever. I don't care. Let's see. What else do we have? Hey, here's a little something. How about this is it. We got no more stories today. Last night, Mavs game. How about Victor Wembanyama? Did you guys watch Wemby? Did you watch the NBA debut of Victor Wembanyama? Say that 10 times fast. Victor Wembanyama. Victor Wembanyama. I can do it 10 times fast. That's actually pretty good once you get into the rhythm. It's Victor Wembanyama. Yeah, I can do that. This is the kid from France who's like 20 foot tall. And he's got like 90 foot arms. He's crazy. He's out there. He's just... He wasn't great. He played the Mavs, so we had the Mavs last time. Mavs won, though. Good. Mavs won. That's cool. That's really all we ultimately care about. Mavs won. But yeah, he wasn't all that impressive. I gotta be honest. I'm like watching him. I'm like, yeah, this is the guy. I mean, I've seen the highlight reels from the preseason. Is that what they call it in the NBA? Preseason? I don't know. Saw the highlight reels. It looks like he can play a little bit of this game called basketball. So. But then he didn't impress. But then he went off in the fourth quarter. It's like, there we go. This is what we're talking about. So that was fun. He's going to be must-see TV. The San Antonio Spurs are going to be must-see TV. I don't watch a lot of basketball games that don't include the Chicago Bulls or the Dallas Mavericks. Those are kind of like the two games that I can sit and watch. Like, I won't watch Golden State Warriors versus Detroit Pistons game. I don't give a shit about that. That's got nothing for me. But I will watch San Antonio games now this year just because of this Wembanyama kid. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today's show. There is no Radio Misfits show tonight because I got my kids' football game. But let's look at the World Series schedule. World Series 2023. Let's see what the schedule is because we should all go out somewhere.
Tomorrow,
we should all.
The Diamondbacks will play the Rangers at 7:03 p.m. The Diamondbacks will play the Rangers on Saturday at 7:03 p.m. The Rangers will play the Diamondbacks.
Shut up, Google! I can see it. I don't need. All right, here we go. Game 1 tomorrow, 7:03. Can't do game 1. Can't do tomorrow. Game 2. How? Okay, so let's aim for the first 4 games, just in case. I mean, for the purposes here, our choices are going to be Monday, October 30th at 7:03, Rangers at Diamondbacks, or Tuesday, Halloween. We don't want to do Halloween, do we? Or do we want to do Halloween? Kill 2 birds with 1 stone? Do we? What do you think? I don't know. How about, why don't we right now tentatively think about Monday, October 30th? That would be Monday. So it's Thursday now. So that would be game 3, Rangers at Diamondbacks. Anybody good on Mondays? Does Monday work for anybody? All right. So that'll be the date. So let's put a pin in that. Let's try and figure that out. That's for the date. Now we got to figure out a place to go. And, so hit me up. Here's just in the chat room tomorrow. We'll figure it out more. We'll figure out who's going to go. And then, I'll make a list and all that. So you don't have to go, but, if you guys want to watch the game, we'll figure out a way to watch the game. I know Peter will come, right? I'm hoping Pete comes. I hope that, Byron gets out here. I know Rob's probably not, with airfare being what they are. But, okay, so we'll figure on that. Let's put a pin in Monday, and let's see if we can't do something there. I'm going to get out of here. Hold on. Somebody send me a... Why am I getting all of these stupid political tweets? I hate the tweets. Is that working? Nope, that's not the one. There ain't nothing wrong with the... John Hinckley's got so many bangers. I have got my poetry. I have got my... In my quest to make mental health a bigger topic in casual conversation, I really want to bring and promote a John Hinckley concert. I think that would be... I think we get a bunch of... I think that would be great. And trust me when I tell you that we're working on that very thing. So come see John Hinckley. An acoustic night with my new best friend, John Hinckley. I got to be honest with you. So, when we first started the show 2 years ago, one of the first things that we did was we tracked through the John Hinckley album. And just, kind of as a goof, I'm like, that's our closing theme. I'm using that as our closing theme. I think this is a good song. We're 2 years into it. I think this is a good song. I think that the message that he's saying in the song is actually a nice and positive and resonating message. I don't know. He's not, yes, this is somebody who went through some stuff and he gave up a huge part of his, he caused a lot of damage. Can't, marginalize that. But, he worked through it, man. I don't know, he's kind of a success story. Is all I'm saying. I'm saying that I kind of admire John Hinckley, and I'm not joking. Yes, I know what he did, but he's a human being. Made a mistake when he was 20. He's like 60 now and writing songs like this. There's some depth there. I don't know. Guys, I did want to talk about this. Nobody knows about this. No, actually, that's not true. Byron knows about this. I had an experience yesterday after the show that was so freaky. All right, so I get this frantic phone call from a neighbor. And the neighbor goes, hey, do you have somebody trying to get into your house? Is there somebody? And I'm like, what? No. What do you mean? Like a package delivery? I mean, the dog, nobody's going to try and get in that dog. Well, the dog was with me. The dog was with me over here in the back house. So she's like, well, there's somebody sitting on your front stoop, and this person has been sitting there for about a half hour, and it doesn't look like they belong there. And I'm like, oh God, what is this? What is going on? We're in Highland Park. I mean, this is like, Highland Park is a super rich neighborhood dropped in the middle of some of the most sketchy streets in all of Texas. By that, I mean Lemon Avenue. I mean, Lemon Avenue is so sketchy. Anyway, Harry Hines. So we get people. Lemon Avenue has a lot of troubled souls, a lot of homeless people, a lot of people with problems, and they sometimes wander into the fancy neighborhood. And then the Highland Park SWAT team descends on the poor people and sweeps them away. Well, somehow this person, I don't know if this person was homeless. So I'm gonna tell you the story. Okay, so I get this call. They're like, "Are you expecting somebody?" I'm like, "No." And I'm like, "Who is this?" Now I've got a situation going on with somebody who I'm trying to keep my distance from. So I'm like, "What's going?" Just know that in the back of your head that there is like somebody out there that I just don't want to have any dealings with, and I think that they. Moving on. So I'm like, I wonder what's going on here at the front porch. So I put the dog in her collar because remember I've got a 70-pound killing machine. So I put the dog in her collar and we walk down the driveway. And as we're coming down the driveway, I peer around the front of the house to the entrance, and I see some legs. I see black long legs in a dress, like it's a black girl. And I'm like, okay, because that kind of tracks. And I'm like, what's going on here? And I saw this person, and I thought it was I thought it might be somebody I knew, but it's not, because this person, I don't really know them that well, like to really look at them. Or maybe I'm racist. Maybe just, I don't know. No, but I'm not. So I look at this person and I go, what the fuck are you doing? Like I thought there was some, but then they responded in a way that told me that they didn't know who I was. So this was just a random thing. So it wasn't the situation that I thought, thankfully. At least I don't know. So I say to this person, I'm standing there. Now the dog is going nuts. The dog is like, because this person is at this dog's front door and this dog didn't let him in. This dog did not, usually that's how it works. The dog has to okay you in this person. So the dog's going nuts. She's on a choke collar. I'm trying to control her. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing here? And she's like, I'm waiting for my grandpa. And I go, what? I go, that means nothing to me. And I'm working with the dog. I go, you can't sit here. What do you do? This is somebody's home. I didn't want her to know it was my home because, whatever. So she gets up, and then I feel bad because it's obvious to me. I say to her, I go, do you live around here? And she goes, yeah. And I go, where? And she goes, she points, and then she swings her arm that way. And she's like, I didn't know where I was. And I go, why is your grandpa coming to pick you up here? And she goes, I got to go. And I go, well, okay, are you going to walk home? And remember, I'm standing there on the lawn with the dog, our own lawn. This stranger's on our doorstep, just sitting there Indian style. It's been there a half hour, according to our neighbor. She's got boxes of stuff. She's got like Amazon boxes. I didn't put two and two together until a few minutes later. So she goes, okay, I'm going to go home then. And I'm like, yeah. I go, please don't come back. The dog's salivating. So I watch her walk off. She crosses the street. She goes down the block. She's probably about 50 yards away from me. She walks into a home that is kitty corner from mine. She walks not into the home. She walks onto the porch. But there's a door that you have to open. It's sort of like like a breezeway kind of a porch. So she walks into this little porch where the mailbox is for this house. And I think, oh, how embarrassing. I just yelled at our neighbor, right? I thought she really does live around here and she's having a moment. And now I should go apologize and say that, sorry, we just didn't recognize you. And maybe she does have an issue and she was confused and she was sitting on the wrong porch, but she obviously belongs there because she walked across the street and went right in. 10 seconds later, she comes running out carrying an Amazon box, being chased by a dog. I'm like, oh, okay, she doesn't live there. I'm like, okay. This broad is just walking around the neighborhood. She's out of her mind. She's obviously out of her mind. She seemed confused. I don't know if she was on drugs or if she was having a a moment mentally. I don't know. But at that point, I'm standing now on the corner of the house, and I call 911, and I go, there's a girl stealing packages. I go there. She's walking around. I'm standing here. I describe. She walks off through the neighborhood and starts. I mean, she's walking. And I'm walking the dog now. So I'm staying about a half a block behind her, but I'm walking close enough because I want to see the police takedown. I want to see how this goes. And the cops were so funny because I was standing on this one corner and I see like 3 Highland Park police cops all like within seconds. Because boy, you say that there's a person, there's a poor person in the neighborhood. Oh my God, the police, they show up. And they're swinging by, and I'm pointing down the street because I'm the only one who knows what block she went down. And I'm standing and I'm pointing, and the cops are all, which way did she go? I'm like, right there. That's her right there. They're like, okay. So they go down there. She got arrested. She had a whole bunch of packages. Remember, I didn't put it together. She had some packages when she was sitting on my porch. She was stealing packages. She was just stealing Amazon packages. And I thought, those must be her packages. I didn't even think until I saw her walk across the street and steal it. Took some pictures. Yeah, I got to show you a picture. I can probably put this up. This is what she looked like. Here she is. This is her. You can see her bag. Her bag, well, you can't really see her bag, but it's filled with packages that she stole. So I guess that's her. Can you see her face? Let's see. There you go. There's her face. She was sleeping on my front porch, stealing packages. I mean, it wasn't a feel good. Like, it wasn't, I wasn't proud of myself. I mean, typically I'd be like, yeah, you steal them rich people packages. I might be rooting for her, but she didn't seem okay. She seemed like maybe authorities should step in at this point. Maybe I was trying to have a conversation with her. I was trying to figure out, and she was all scattered. So that was a scary moment. That happened yesterday. And I was, like I said, nobody knows about it. I didn't tell anybody about it. Although I think Byron and I talked about it. I don't know why Byron and I were talking via whatever it was, but yeah, I know that I told him about it. There we go. All right, back to the theme song already in progress. No, April, it wasn't you. I'm pretty sure it wasn't you.
Tomorrow is another day. The best is yet to come.
April says, I thought I saw you post about it on Twitter. Did I? I don't think I did. I think I was like, because I didn't feel real good about calling the heat on a sister of the struggle. I didn't really feel, it wasn't a proud moment, but I don't know. Let me see. Hold on. Let me quickly. Did I post anything about it? She was definitely stealing packages, and she was definitely in a bad way mentally. There was something not happening. No, I don't think I did. I don't think I posted anything about it. All right, never mind. Back to the theme song already in progress. Well, Barney says he saw it on Twitter. What? Oh, that's right. That's it. I'm sorry. Yeah, you guys are right. Sometimes I forget about it. Yeah, I did. I tweeted it.
I have got an old guitar.
That is all I need. 2:52 p.m. She's got, okay, we know. All right.
I don't have the greed.
Well, no, Rob, I know. I'm totally not racist. I mean, I know I'm not racist. I am racial. Like, I am fascinated by the differences between the cultures and those cultures being defined by the race. I love that. Like, I love talking about, the differences between black people or white people. I'm very racial, love race conversation. But I'm not racist. Being a racist means you suck because you ain't white, or you ain't meat. That's a whole different ball of wax. People are different. People come from different backgrounds and different influences, and learning about one another and sharing these experiences is kind of what life's experience and life's journey should be all about. So I don't know. I mean, I love the race conversation, but no, I don't think I'm racist at all. That's what racists all say. I don't think I am.
Far from the comfort nest. I am on a never-ending quest. Tomorrow is another day. The best is yet to come.
So excited about the game tonight because my son's team is playing a very good team. And my son's team is a very good team. And this is going to be a gut check. We're going to, you know what I mean? Probably not going to be a 45-0 victory. Probably not going to be like that. But it's going to be a good game. Louisville, they don't, them Louisville farmers, they don't F around. They are a legit Texas high school football program. What was I going to say about that? I don't know. But back to the theme. I had something I wanted to say, but I don't remember what it is. Whoa, whoa.
I can smile a little now. Things are going good.
You guys want to hear a funny story? Okay. So the last away game that I went to, this is again, maybe this isn't a coincidence, but it's maybe it's more about the person that we have in common here. I'll tell you a story. So both myself and my ex-wife, so my son Mason's mother and father, both of them at different times, a completely different time, like probably separated by a good 20 minutes, at different times had run-ins and arguments with the exact same person over the exact same issue at a football game. This woman was taking the tickets at Prosper High School, and she was just such a stickler, and she was a real problem. And I didn't go into the game because I erupted on her. I was like, rah, 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 and I walked away, and I felt embarrassed, so I just watched the game from the other side. So we were talking about that game, and my ex-wife said, I didn't see you there. I didn't know you were at that game. I go, yeah, I was on the other side. I was on the other side. I became that guy for a moment, the guy who can't go back into the game. I didn't get kicked out of the game. I just, because there was a problem with the entry, I went, forget it. I don't even want to deal with you people. And I walked away. And I said, yeah, I had a problem with the woman. And she goes, that the woman in the blue sweatshirt with the hoodie who was wearing the mask? And I go, yeah. And she goes, oh, I screamed at her. I go, what do you mean you screamed at her? I go, she told me that the ticket was for the wrong game. I go, that's the exact same thing she told me. She told me I had to buy another ticket again because they had it wrong on their, anyway, same. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, I mean, we both had a fight with the same woman. Obviously, that woman is the problem. Or my son's mother and father are triggered by the exact same kind of person. I don't.
That is understood. Down the road I'll travel, far from the comfort nest.
It's gonna rain. What do we got weather-wise? What are we looking at weather-wise for the rest of the night? Let me see here. I don't want it to rain. It's supposed to, I thought it was supposed to rain all day long, right? It was going to rain all day long, and then there was going to be a little break, and it was going to rain again at night. It is sunny and gorgeous out right now. 81 degrees, partly sunny. Does it get any better than that? It is like perfect weather right now. But it's going to continue. Okay, it says light rain showers. What are we looking at? Okay, so when are we going to get this rain? Game starts at 5. All right, we're clear. Clear. All right, they're saying rain tomorrow morning. They're saying flood warning from Thursday, 8:38 a.m. until Saturday. Oh, they're widening it out, huh? That's 3 days. At some point in these 3 days, it could flood. So you can't say we're wrong because we got 3 days for it to flood. Right? So that's what they're doing now. It's going to start raining at 8 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. There you go. No rain. No rain rest of the day and night. They fixed it. Someone at the weather office looked outside and said, hey, you know what we say it's supposed to be right now is totally wrong. We should change that. And that's what they did. No harm, no foul. Bye, everybody. Love you. See you tomorrow at high noon. I'm Pugs Moran. Tip the show if you could. Bye.